We open on a green and unspoiled world to discover Janeway and Chakotay asleep in a pair of Federation tanning booths. They awaken and are contacted by the Doctor, who tells them that the virus they have, which apparently originated from this planet, is incurable and they'll cark it if they leave, even if in stasis, which, well, that's not fucking stasis then, is it? But let's see where this is going. He's been trying for a couple of weeks to cure it while they were asleep, but has run out of options, so, sorry, I guess. The only remaining option he can think of is contacting the Plague Lads, as their medical knowledge far exceeds our own. Chakotay shoots this down, saying they've never shown a willingness to help us, which isn't true, as they helped at the end of Season 1, Episode 5, but they also nicked a pair of lungs in that episode, so it was a bit of a mixed bag. Janeway thanks him and calls Tuvok. She transfers command to him and orders him to continue their journey and not to contact the Vidians, raising an interesting question of whether that order is valid. Is her rank of captain without a ship higher than his rank of acting captain while in charge of one? We're in a briefing where Captain Tuvok explains the situation to others. Rather upsettingly, it's Paris that answers the very question I just pondered. He says that, as captain, Tuvok can rescind Janeway's orders and keep looking for a cure, but Tuvok asks what purpose this would serve. There are currently no other options. We'll be sending them all they need to set up a nice life, and Janeway's going to continue looking for a cure on her own, so it's not all bad. At least they won't have to live with Neelix's cooking anymore. Everyone's on edge because of the situation. B'Elanna's dealing with her frustration by shitting on an ensign, but Kim wants to do something a bit more productive. He just isn't sure what. Back on planet Janeway, we're doing a science. If we can find the insects that apparently infected them with the virus, maybe we can find a cure. No joy currently, as all the stuff they've caught doesn't carry it, but on the plus side, they have a chance to cosplay as settlers from Little House on the Prairie without anybody taking the piss out of them. They're interrupted by Tuvok, who calls them to say Voyager is about to leave communications range. She takes the opportunity to speak to all of the crew and thank them for their service before wishing them a safe journey. We don't give Chakotay the same opportunity because fuck the Marquee crew, but nobody seems to mind. Later, as Janeway soaks in a bath that Chakotay built, outside for some reason, she's thinking aloud about research avenues for the virus when they're visited by a new friend. Maybe it can yield clues as to how native life has dealt with the virus, but not today, as it buggers off, leaving Janeway and Chakotay alone to consider her nudity, and they're totally going to bang. Returning to the shelter, she buries herself in more research, prompting Chakotay to suggest that it might be time to consider that this problem may not have a solution. Aboard Voyager, we're continuing on course just as Janeway wanted until Kim detects a Plague Lad convoy in the distance. Tuvok orders a course change to avoid them, but Kim thinks we should give them a call and ask if they can help with Janeway and Chakotay. Tuvok overrules and Kim chooses this moment to take a stand, calling on the bridge crew to join him. Presumably, he's forgotten that in the last episode, they were all complicit in the murder of an innocent man, so appealing to their better natures is, at best, optimistic, and they all do nothing while Kim is relieved of duties and told to get the fuck off the bridge. Kim's crying into some of Neelix's terrible coffee, which would have tasted better if he hadn't helped kill Tuvik's last episode, just saying. Traitor's mate and the ensign B'Elanna took a shit on earlier choose to join him. They think Kim was right about contacting the Plague Lads for help, and they're not alone, so we do a bit of the old plotting. To their credit, we don't go straight to Mutiny. Instead, Kim approaches Tuvok and posits the two conclusions they've reached. Number one, they helped a Vidian not long ago called Dinara, the one that the Doc fancied, which is a point in our favour. Number two, B'Elanna's Klingon DNA might lead to a cure for space plague, so maybe we could offer a sample in trade. They're fair points, but Tuvok reminds him that we did kill several hundred of them a few weeks back when doppelganger Janeway kaboomed her copy of Voyager and a Vidian ship with it. Under the circumstances, they might not be up for a chat. Kim pushes it until Tuvok tells him to shut the fuck up and get out. Chakotay's indulging in a little interior decorating, prompting he and Janeway to have another chat about their contrasting approaches to the situation. She doesn't rule out accepting a new life here at some point, but that day is not today, so off we go for some more samples. We meet our new friend again, but he's a bit skittish. The reason, it seems, is because he's familiar with the planet's weather and knows what's coming. A storm kicks up and Chakotay finds her before we retreat back to the shelter. This may not be the Eden we first assumed. Tuvok's busy doing captain things when Kez visits. After buttering him up with comparisons to her father, she tells him that the emotional needs of the crew are part of his job and that, right now, he's proper fucking it up. It feels like an intervention of sorts, a feeling not helped by the crowd gathered outside. After basically calling them a bunch of cunts who don't understand the priorities of leadership, he relents and says he'll give the Plague Lads a call. Back on planet Janeway, that Storms proved to be a bit of a bastard. After it's finished, we discover that all of the research equipment is proper fucked, putting an end to her finding a solution. Playing the cards you're dealt is one thing, but being forced to watch as the dealer rubs his balls on them afterwards is quite another. To her credit, Janeway takes this well, which is to say she doesn't start shooting things. Perhaps Voyager's using up all of Janeway's luck, as they've been able to get in contact with Danara. She's familiar with the planet and the virus, and has a cure. She says they can meet up in 20 hours, which is interesting given that the episode stardates tell us we left her colony a couple of months ago, but maybe she's been making house calls in the area or something. Anyway, Tuvok wants to be prepared in case shit goes bad, so we run some battle drills. Janeway and Chakotay are trying to repair the damage to their shelter. Chakotay suggests going full rural and making a log cabin, but before they can decide, our friend reappears. Discussing domestication, Chakotay says it might take a while, and Janeway seems to accept that they have the time now. Later, she's suffering from the manual labour of the day, but Chakotay offers a massage and they're totally going to bang. Not yet, though, as they break off and separate so they can both stare wistfully, like Hollywood tells us you're supposed to do in these situations. Looks like they're not the only ones in danger of getting fucked, though, as Voyager detects a ship incoming. Then another, then another. All three are Vidian, and all three have weapons charged. We're surrounded. This is what you get for listening to an ensign, Tuvok. Janeway would never have let this happen, you twat. Right now, Janeway's busy with other matters. She wants to settle where she and Chakotay stand, prompting... Well, I've already made my opinion on this one clear. I wonder if Mark will get joint custody of the dog. Pooping abounds on Voyager as those Plague Lads have opened fire. Is Danara with them, or is this unrelated? A bit of both, it seems, as she calls the doctor and explains she didn't know they'd attack. She still wants to give us the cure, so Tuvok does some shield lowering whilst making something kaboom shenanigans, and we manage to teleport the cure aboard before disabling the other ships and legging it. On planet Janeway, we're adapting to a farmer's life. Returning to the house, they hear a noise. It's a comm badge with Tuvok trying to call them. He says they've got a cure and will be back in 30 hours. When they arrive, Janeway tells our new friend that the house is all his, so that's yet another planet we've littered, and we teleport aboard. Business mode is re-engaged for both Janeway and Chakotay, and they silently agree to never speak of all the sex they had as we fly away. End of episode.